Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking into something I've been looking forward to for a very long time, and that is this. And I actually didn't know this was on the market like a year ago because I didn't have a distributor selling it at the time, or a brick and mortar. So I was actually super surprised that it showed up. But the reason why I'm super excited about it isn't because that Sonax made an all-in-one polish that's ceramic based, which is, who gives a shmoo. Here's one right here that's been around forever that corrects and has a ceramic based protection in it that I've actually used quite a lot on like low end details for people where they're just like, just make it better than it is, and they don't care about long-term protection. They just more like interior focused details, for example. Like I could one and done this and still do some correction, add some protection, put the spray coating on top the next day and be done with it. So, and that right there, what I just said, the spray coating on top, is why I'm really excited for this, because there's lots of all-in-one polishes out there. Like Rupe makes one, Menzerna makes one, like everyone makes one, but it's hard to find a system to go with it. And by system, I mean now you've got, sorry, as I fudge this around, your base polish. So some correction, some filling, some protection, and then you can top it with a spray coating and maintain it with a detailer. All designed to play with one another. That's why this is super exciting, because this, honestly, is probably what I would do 85 to 90% of the time with details. People come to me like, oh, I want my car clean. It's usually they're talking about the interior where they're grossed out. They don't really care about the paint. And if this can remove, 50% defects, all the very visible stuff, and then fill in some of the deep stuff, and then get topped with this, and get a boost in slickness and gloss with this after like 24 hours or something like that, which is sort of what we're going to figure out today. That's a really easy to use system. And I've used this by hand on some trims on a detail I did, just because I needed something with some cut, but I wanted also to add a little protection because it was like a metal piece that I didn't want to have to use metal polish and then get it on black plastic that was all near it. So I was impressed with it there so far, but again, that's really not a proper usage. So I have the world's nastiest car, the world's nastiest paint. It has basically been waterless washed on the street in a paid by the second sort of type of crew, as in for every second longer you take, you lose like $100. Like, this is bad washing. So the paint is ruined, but we're going to put these three on the hood. We're going to work them in with the machine with a white pad, because that's about as far as most people go with an entry-level type system like these, and see what we can get on terrible paint for results. And then next day, we'll check the hydrophobics, because I want to give them 24 hours to cure. But that's what we're doing today. I'm super excited. I have no idea, because I've seen people test this, and Sonax has videos, but I actually haven't seen third-party testing on this where they check the hydrophobics, nor if like what it does with these on top. So that's what we're going to explore with this on this car over the next bit. The first one's just going to be this with a hydrophobic check, and then we'll do these guys and these. Turtle Axe will use the hybrid ceramic spray coating, and this one I will use the ultimate quick wax. So those will be the toppers, 24 hours apart, and we'll see how they look. I won't put the detailer on for that, because that's just an extra step, and I don't have the detailer for this one, so I don't want to go buy it. But that's what we're gonna do. I'm rambling. Let's look at the car now. Okay, guys, here is the paint. This is a 2016 Kia Soul. If you look, up here, there's some pretty nasty stuff. We're not looking at what it can do with something like that, which is basically somebody went to this paint with a dish brush trying to get sap off. But we're just going to look at this sort of stuff and how much each one of these can take out, and then their hydrophobics. So being a big tease, sections 1, 2, 3, you will not know who is who. You will only get the results. So trying to keep the biases out, trying to keep the brand fanboys, not fanboys, enthusiasts. Just, it's really good to go into these not knowing what they are and being surprised and maybe disappointed, but being like, oh, wow, that looks the best. And then, oh, wow, that was that brand. A lot of times people don't want to like a brand for other reasons, and justified or not, that's not fair. So no looky, but when we're done, we will reveal whose is whose. Okay? All right, let me polish these with the machine, and then we'll check the results. Okay, so polishing is done. This is the tape line, and this is a tape line, and you can see there's a bit of shmoo in the middle there, but you should be able to. Oh, yeah, super obvious. So, competitor 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to shuffle this a little closer. And I'll monkey with the zoom, make sure you guys can see it nicely. But basically, all applications were done. The machine, speed 4.5, white pad, Lake Country CCS white pad. 3 pinky nail size drops, focus, per pad, which is a bit more than you would need for an area of this size, but nothing wrong with having a little bit extra and working a little longer and getting a better result. So yeah, let's look at the results here, starting with number 1. Zoom. So definitely done a better job. I'm gonna look with my eyeball. Good reduction. A lot of the big stuff taken down, or sorry, the little stuff taken down. Much darker. Clearly took a good chunk off of a very neglected car. So, I mean, if you went around an entire car like that, probably would be okay with it. Now we're going to look at number 2. So here's your control. Zoom this one out a smidge. Look like this for a bit. See, no, that's no good. Get over to the top. This is where that sap spot was, and it took it down a notch, but clearly, like over by the corners, the machine doesn't work as well because you're watching the tape and you're trying not to cross over the line. But another good chunk down. Ooh, it's really close between these two. What do you think? It looks like a tie to my naked eye, but I did not mean to rhyme there. I apologize. Let's look at number 3. So clearly there's something got through the tape. Not sure what, but here's no control and number 3. You let me know. They all look really good. Number 3 looks really good. One of the products, the Turtle-Axe product, had a little bit of problem polishing out. It got a little patchy and looked like it had some dry spots. but it buffed off fine, so that's all good. Yeah, no, number 3 here, it's looking like I did a pretty good job. This floodlight above is not pointing in the right way, so it's kind of working against me, but I almost want to give it to number 3. But it's close. When I look in person from the same angle, yeah, it's really close. If I had to pick one, it's 3 by a hair. But then when I go across to these two, they're all the same. So clearly, they all can do a very good job of cleaning up some nasty paint. And the camera is not picking this up. You see this stuff in sunlight. I set the photos. I put a couple photos up the other day from sunlight, and it's bad. So, like, this would already look a lot better, even with the spotlight showing that. Oh, look at that! Like, it's still bad. Don't get me wrong. There's deep stuff everywhere, but it would look black. It does not look black. It looks gray. So, anyway, pause it there for now. We're going to do the water check on these 3 tomorrow, and then we'll get into a conclusion, and then we'll do a little bit more experimenting without blind testing. I won't blind test the next one, where we top them with their companion products and see which system is the best one to invest in overall, because the Sonax coating and detailer are fantastic. They're way better than the detailer and coating for Turtle X. And I think they're better than the Meguiars ones. The Meguiars ones aren't bad. I just think these are better. So we'll get into that after we finish this roundup with the water testing. That'll be a new video. We'll do something on this car with these and check it out. Anyway. Okay, so we've seen the gloss section, we've seen the hydrophobic section, so now it's time to reveal who is who. Overall, hydrophobics, it looked like number 3 was on top, first place, and then the other 2 almost looked like they were kind of tied. Maybe one had a slight angle, not quite sure. I'm sort of saying it's 3 and then a tie for second between excuse me, 1 and 2. But gloss and fill, or correction, and I guess in this case as well, pretty tough call between the 3 sections. Maybe, I can't even say, to be honest. I can't even say. You look through the footage again. I looked in person and through the footage, and I still can't determine who's on top. But anyway, section 1 is Meguiars. Yeah, it's Meguiars has had some pretty good compounds recently, like M105, 205, 210, 110, I guess. They're SMAT type abrasives, so they're super micro abrasive technology. And apparently this has it, just like Ultimate Compound and Ultimate Polish. So it does offer a decent amount of correction, and it definitely improved the look of the paint. It wasn't perfect, but it's a Porter cable with a white Lake Country pad. Like, it's not a super aggressive setup to begin with, so it did a good job. And it definitely, like, if you went over that whole car with that setup, it would look much, much better. Like, there would be a noticeable, discernible difference. So as they say. Not too bad. Anyway, next in position 2 is Sonax. I will say that the correction part of this, and again, number 3 was turtle wax, I guess. Spoiler alert. I was surprised the hydrophobics weren't stronger. Now I've worked that in with the machine polisher, and I've heard somewhere that wax polishes, when you work them in really hard, lose some of their wax property, like their protective properties sort of diminish. I think I heard that with this, but I don't know if that's true. But based on the hydrophobic performance of those two, you'd think it would be a notch above, just because that family of products is quite high up in hydrophobics, just like the polymer net chill and brilliant shine detailer. They're all very hydrophobic. So I was a little shocked to see that this wasn't that hydrophobic, which would then make me suggest getting one of these two, if not both of them, to sort of go with it, because this will do the correction and these will really give you the protection, because I don't know how long that will last. I haven't tested it. I just applied it first time, but definitely would be pairing these. But it's good to know that this does have correction. I think it is the best bottle here with this type of top. These flippy lids are freaking terrible. And these two guys complementing it makes this a really strong case, even if it doesn't have great hydrophobics. These will pack the punch it needs. And then in number 3, obviously turtle wax, but shocked actually. Like, I knew the Meguiars hydrophobics weren't the best on the planet, and I've used this a few times, and while no slouch, I expected that to be the most hydrophobic here, but clearly this guy was the one. So yeah, there you are. No long-term testing, no chemical testing. That's not what these are for, but we will revisit these with their respective toppers. So this guy will use hybrid solutions, ceramic spray coating for this guy, and we will use the ultimate quick wax for that, to sort of get a ballpark idea of how they do as a system, and see what kind of differences layering these on top provides. And we'll give it like a 24-hour period or something like that. So that'll be in a couple weeks, or a week or two or something like that. I just applied the new Cerakote to the test panels, and those are going to sit for a couple weeks, and then I've got 2 different test panels testing it for 2 different things, so that will be coming out very soon, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, I'm rambling now, so thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.